in his life that allowed him to overcome laziness and avoid procrastination. In the end, the key to not procrastinating is to have a routine. Marcus Aurelius converted all his responsibilities into a fundamental part of his life. Just as we need to eat, wash, and sleep, he turned these responsibilities into essentials to the point where he couldn't live without fulfilling them. All Stoics understood that we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. For example, for Marcus Aurelius, the day started early. At dawn, when he woke up, he understood that he was rising to do the work of a human being. There was no time for him to stay in bed. He began the day by writing in his personal diary, dedicating a few minutes to write his thoughts and organize his mind, remembering what was important. Then, he prepared to face his responsibilities and the people around him. He would tell himself, the people you will encounter today will be disrespectful and ungrateful. They will try to irritate and frustrate you. Marcus Aurelius knew that he couldn't let these people affect his judgment and his happiness. He was clear that he had to act as he deemed right. After this, Marcus Aurelius started with his most important responsibilities because he wanted to begin them when he was rested and ready to work. He focused on the task at hand, like a Roman, acting as if it were the most important thing. As he said in his meditations, as seen in his routine, there's no room for procrastination. You might be wondering how you can act like Marcus Aurelius and overcome procrastination. How can you prepare yourself mentally? What tricks can you follow? Next, I will explain 7 tricks that personally helped me avoid procrastination. They are divided into 2 parts. The first will be about preparing the mind to avoid procrastination, and the second will be about actions we can take to overcome procrastination. Part 1. Prepare the mind. Change your focus. Procrastination is a first-world problem. We procrastinate because we can afford it. We must increase the sense of urgency when performing our responsibilities by procrastinating and setting a deadline to complete what we must do. We end up doing it on the last day. When there is little time left to meet the deadline, it seems that when the last day arrives, laziness disappears. We are productive and act as we should, and this happens because of the sense of urgency. Setting our own dates, limits to fulfill our responsibilities would increase our urgency to work and help overcome procrastination. We might even count on a family member or friend to help us meet this deadline by establishing a consequence if we fail to comply. Part 2. Avoid low-level distraction. Usually, when we procrastinate, the actions that replace what we should do are often low-level distractions. This means that we waste time doing something that doesn't benefit us. We should realize that, besides not adding anything to us, we also don't fully enjoy this distraction because deep down, we know we should be doing something else. Hence, not only does it not help us at all, but we also don't fully indulge in that distraction. Therefore, we should work first and enjoy later. 3. Rearrange your responsibilities. There are tasks that are difficult or that take a lot of time to complete, and this type of task can overwhelm us and lead us to procrastinate. If I ask you if you can work for 5 hours without getting distracted, probably you can't. But could you work for 1 hour without getting distracted, right? It's more likely that you can do that, and you can do it for 5 minutes. Everyone is capable of working for 5 minutes straight. If we apply this logic to long or difficult tasks, that is, by breaking down these tasks into smaller parts and viewing them as single, shorter, and achievable tasks, facing our responsibilities this way will likely help us overcome procrastination. Every procrastinator knows that the hardest part is always starting the task. Once you begin, you overcome the most challenging part. Force yourself to start. Don't think about how long it will take to finish your task. Don't even think about finishing or the difficulty of what needs to be done. Just start with the first step, because it's the hardest, but also the most important, and it will give you the momentum to proceed to the second step. Being a procrastinator also has its advantage because once you start, you don't want to stop, as you are aware of the difficulty of restarting or resuming the task. One of the tricks I use in my life to take the first step is the 5-2 rule. It involves counting from 5 down to 0, and when you reach 0, start the task. The idea is to clear your mind, not to think about anything, just to start. count from 5, and start without personal thinking. Whenever I want to do something that bothers me, I count down from 5 and do it without thinking. 6. The technique is a trick to divide your work time into more manageable portions, making it simpler to face your tasks. It's hard to start working if you think you have 5 hours ahead, for example. But if you divide this time using the Pomodoro technique, you'll be able to handle your work more easily. The technique involves working for 25 minutes straight, and then taking a 5-minute break. That would be 1 Pomodoro. After 4 Pomodoros, take a 20-minute break and repeat. Everyone is capable of working for 25 minutes straight, and by doing 4 Pomodoros, we work for 1 hour and 40 minutes, 100 focused, and then rest for 20 minutes. Facing 1 hour and 40 minutes of continuous work is tough. We can get distracted if we're not 100 focused, and perhaps we might not even start because we'd end up procrastinating. But with this trick, you can tackle the work in 25-minute parts that everyone can do with 100 productivity. Eliminate distractions. Our brain always seeks the easiest path. If you have your cell phone near your workspace, a video game, or anything that can distract you, remove all these distractions from your workspace. Design an environment that makes procrastination difficult, where the only thing you can do is finish your task. Start by identifying what prevents you from doing the work and eliminate these distractions from your workspace. To prevent procrastination from being easy? Did you like these tips to avoid procrastination? Do you apply any other trick? In a noisy world filled with distractions, the Stoics saw solitude as a wise teacher, offering moments of peace and isolation in which we can confront our true feelings, desires, and values without the masks we wear in society. The Stoics embraced self-sufficiency or inner independence and emotional control in solitude. They saw it as a way to develop this self-sufficiency because when alone, we didn't depend on the opinions or expectations of others to find peace and happiness for ourselves. Solitude allowed us to develop an internal strength that was not shaken by external fluctuations. 2. Profound self-knowledge. An important theme of Stoic philosophy, a profound self-knowledge. Solitude provides a safe space for us to look inward and explore the hidden corners of our minds and hearts that we rarely consider. Imagine solitude as a mirror that reflects the true self, silently allowing us to face the truth within us and discover what